All right, so Corinne, the question is, guys, Corinne works with fixing credit, credit repair, and bringing your credit score up to 100 million points, okay? So the question is this. In my scenario right now where I have a rental property, but the tenant is not paying rent, people have asked me, why don't I just put it in forbearance? And so I'm asking an expert. Why? What's the ramifications of that? Is it a good thing? Is it a what a thing? Is it a talk to us?
Okay, so when the very first thing that's going to happen, you put something in forbearance, specifically a mortgage, it's going to say affected by natural disaster. Even if you did the car and you say, hey, let's skip some payments, it's supposed to say affected by natural disaster on your credit report.
And this is the COVID forbearance we're talking about.
Affected by natural disaster. As an aside, there are some what we're calling for COVID fraud, where creditors, you need to check your credit because creditors are doing that without you asking. And I'll go down and I'll see affected by natural disaster, and you never called them and said COVID anything. Because they have other things they can benefit from by having that on your credit. So check that anyway. You just need to stay on your credit quarterly. But the conversation, I said the credit report is like a book and it's telling a story. So if you want to go get some other credit, a house, something else, and you've got a mortgage that says affected by natural disaster, it's a contradiction. So you're saying I can't afford to pay for this, but give me that. So you want to think if this is something you really need to do. Some people are just doing it to save money or to skip payments and stuff like that. But it's not necessarily going to be that advantageous because if you're trying to, like for instance, I was refinancing last year. So I watched Candy Burris talk about and Todd talk about it when it first started. So I was like, okay, let me go check it out. And they're business people. I respect them. I respect her grind. So I said, let me go check it out. Well, she said, read the details.
So, everybody's been hearing about the companies that may possibly be allowing you to defer your payments. And I was saying to MC Light the other day when I was talking to her, I was like, well, girl, I don't really need to do that right now, whatever. And she said, when they are allowing grace and they are giving you grace, accept it. Because we don't know what we may need to do with our money later. We don't really know what's going on in this situation. So with that being said, and I also much love to BB Judy. I heard her talking about it on her page as well. I wanted to make sure that a lot of you are reaching out to your creditors or anybody that you may pay rent to or you loans to,
car payments,
any type of payments that you're making. Reach out to those companies and see if they will allow you to defer your payments penalty free. Okay, if they will, take them up on that offer. Call all your car companies because a lot of them are doing that. There'll be no penalties to you, no extra added interest. Just make sure that you ask those questions. Make sure that they're not doing any extra penalty or any extra interest, that they're just simply adding the payments on the end, deferring, right?
So for me, if I would have done that, there was no guarantee that I was just going to automatically get a remodification afterwards. So when you remodify, we're going to change the term of the loans and throw it in the back. That wasn't automatic. The process could have been I forbearance for 3 months, and then 3 months later, I owe 3 times my mortgage payment, period. Well, you ain't had the money for the first 3 months. Why would you just automatically have it later? And they couldn't tell me when I was asking for it if that was an automatic resolution. I had to apply for that. So that's one reason I didn't do it. And God. And then I applied for the refinance, and she told me if I had done the forbearance, I would not qualify for the refi.
Wow.
Because you just said you can't pay your mortgage. Why would we refi you to pay mortgage when you couldn't pay your mortgage? She said, say for instance, you did the forbearance and you had to pay it on June 20th, and you had to pay your mortgage on the 1st. If I had missed that first payment, I couldn't do the refi. If I canceled it, you know what I'm saying, before, and then started make my June payment, I could go ahead. But if I missed that July payment, I would have to wait, I think it was 3 to 6 months to apply for that and pay that many times in order to get my refi. So what my solution was for having a better situation in an unsure environment during COVID was to go ahead and refi and get my stuff down and call over here and get this down. And I took my car insurance down up to 6,000 miles instead of 20 or 12 or whatever it was. So I started doing that to save money as opposed to not paying it all in a forbearance. That was my plan, girl.
Wow. That's what I'm saying. When you hear these things, or it looks like it's this easy solution, you really do have to read the fine print. I heard somebody tell the story about one of the government programs that helped with back rent for tenants.
Okay.
But when they signed it, they also agreed not to sue the tenants for any back rent, any damage, anything going forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they didn't really realize that until they signed. And so now they are short. They are out $15,000 in back rent, but the government only paid them $4,000. But they can't even go after that money now because they signed this contract.
Wow.
And so again, there's so many things that sound easy, sound simple. Just do this, just do that. Just for you to realize that, oh, that wasn't in your best interest at the end of the day at all. So there you have it. Thank you, Q Boo, for talking to us. I'm your girl, Tinesha. This is Fun and Budget. This is a quick, short video because somebody said I should post short videos instead of yapping. But here I am yapping because what's a good video without a good yap? Until the next time, guys, thumbs up, subscribe, talk to us in the comments. Do you have any experience with having your mortgage or car payment or anything put into forbearance due to this whole COVID situation? This is Jay. If you want to see more of him, check us out on Sitting in the Tree. Until the next video. Peace.